In this passage we're looking at today, we come across this term that's different and difficult: synagogue of Satan. Ironically, just a couple weeks ago, I was unfamiliar with that phrase, and I was accused of being a pastor of a church that was a synagogue of Satan. It was a debate on Facebook, not the best forum for a theological debate, and the accuser was giving his theology in the form of Bible drive-bys. So it wasn't very in-depth, and I didn't realize at first that it was a reference to this passage about the church in Smyrna, where John says there was this synagogue of Satan, Jews who were not real Jews. Now, the irony here is that it was those people of faith who were turning in to the Romans other people of faith. For you see, in Rome, Jews were exempted from giving worship to the emperor. They had long fought for that right. And in the eyes of Rome, they could not distinguish between Christians and Jews. There was no word for Christian yet. Christians were simply those who believed that Jesus was the Messiah and were effectively Jews, certainly in the eyes of Rome, and in many places were thus exempted from the emperor worship. But here in Smyrna, they were being identified. And they were being identified, ratted out, as it were, by some of the Jews, whom John the Revelator tells us were really part of the church of Satan. And Satan for John is always the equivalent of Rome, the dominant culture, the empire, the kingdom of this world. So you see, those who are in the synagogue of Satan are those who have decided that the ways of this world, that the power of this culture, that the sway of this government, whatever it may be, is more important than the teachings of the faith, which demanded of Jews, just like it demanded of the Christians, because they were reading the same scriptures, that you loved God by loving your neighbor, that you welcomed the stranger, that you did what was right. That was how you practiced your faith, not by being pure in doctrine and pointing out those who were wrong. Sounds like it's pertinent to our culture today, doesn't it? What are the things that make us pure and holy? What gives us blessing in the eyes of God? Surely it is practicing our faith and staying true to loving others even when it is difficult, and like for the people in Smyrna who professed Christ, may even cost our lives.